All right, it's time for another edition of Music Matters. I'm MonkeyBoy, and he's
Ziggy.
Hey, and we are back with a fun little talk, I guess, this week about 90s lost albums.
I look forward to getting into that.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
We've got a couple other things we want to talk about before that.
Yeah, we're going to talk about Coachella.
Yeah.
Because that's going on. We're going to talk about that in a few minutes. But let's talk about the charts first.
All right, let's do that.
You know, because that's the point of the podcast.
Yeah.
About staying up on what's
current
hot and trendy, and maybe checking it out while at the same time still loving what you grew up on.
There you go.
Right. So, according to Billboard, the top 10 on the pop charts: Billie Eilish, "Birds of a Feather"; Morgan Wallen, "I'm the Problem" at number 9. He's also at number 8 with "Just in Case." "Apartment" by Rosé and Bruno Mars at number 7. Teddy Swims' "Lose Control" at number 6. Chaperone, "Pink Pony Club" at number 5. Do you know that song?
I do know that song.
All right.
I like that song.
Yeah, all right. Please don't start singing. Shabuzi, a bar song, "Tipsy" at number 4. Drake with "Nokia" at number 3. Lady Gaga and Bruno, that song is just holding on and holding on. It's at number 2. "Die with a Smile," and Kendrick Lamar and SZA.
SZA.
Yeah. You finally figured that one out.
No, I'll never get that.
Luther is at number 1 over on that chart. What
All
about
right.
what about Active Rock?
Active Rock this week, I tell you what, it's a pretty good lineup of the top 10. We'll start off. Number 10 is The Funeral Portrait, "Holy Water." Love that song. I don't know if you've heard that one yet, but it is a jam. Linkin Park's back with a brand new song at number 9 called "Up From the Bottom." Great tune from them. I really like the different vocalist. She just brings a different aspect to it, and so far I'm digging what they're putting out. Number 8 is Ghost and "Satanized," which is just a rocker of a track. Billy Morrison and Ozzy Osbourne, "Gods of Rock and Roll" at number 7. Number 6 is Blur, "Wage War." Number 5 is Shinedown, "Dance Kid Dance." Number 4 is Volbeat by A Monster's Hand. Papa Roach in at number 3 with "Even If It Kills Me." Number 2 is Nothing More and "House of Sand." And the last one, number 1, Disturbed and "I Will Not Break." It's been there at least for the last couple weeks now at number 1. Great stuff from them.
Yes. Sleep Token, was that on?
Not in the top 10.
Not in the top 10.
Let's see, I'll tell you where they're at. They are at number 12 with Emergence.
12. Okay. Sleep Token is a band that is very much on the rise.
Oh, for sure.
Yes.
Yeah, they are. They really bring a whole different feel to rock. Really, they do. It's their own thing.
It's really hard to explain.
Yeah.
Sleep Token, for instance, my older boy is, he's not a big fan of Sleep Token. He thinks they're sleepy and boring and whatever. That's kind of the reason that I like Sleep Token is it's you put them on and you just relax.
Yeah, they're great. But they got some pretty metal moments too in their songs. You know, it's not just
they do. I mean, they're really a mix of
everything.
Yeah, I mean, you can hear some. They've got some jazzy aspects.
Yeah, they got some pop aspects. They got some rap, hip hop. They've got literally everything.
Yeah, it's just it's such a strange blend that I think people that are discovering Sleep Token will be like, I just don't know what's this about. But I think after you listen for a while, you absolutely will pick up on the vibe. There's other bands that are out there that are starting to take off too. Like
For sure.
The Funeral Portrait is a great band.
Yeah, they are really good.
And I saw them. I think it was 2 years ago. Put on a great show, and they're out there doing their own thing now, and it's nice to see new bands take off.
Yeah, get success, and they're killing it.
There's always accusations of industry plants.
Yeah.
I never know.
Who does?
I was trying to look something up here real quick. Is there another band that's new that you're really into?
Oh God, let me think here. Just off the top of my head, I really like Spirit Box. Spirit Box is good, but they've been around for a little while.
Another band that has two sides to their coin, is Spirit Box. I mean,
yeah.
She does the clean vocals on a number of songs, and then mixes it up on some, and then just screams on others.
Yep.
And I think if you just get to know that soft side, and you go to listen to the record, you're going to be whoa.
Yeah,
you're going to be scared because the two sides
gets intense.
Are very different. Yeah, absolutely. What was the one
Poppy is the other one.
Oh, Poppy! You're getting into Poppy.
I really like Poppy.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the one I'd suggest. Doobie is another one. They're funny names. Poppy, Doobie, Poppy Doobie.
You're hilarious.
I crack myself up sometimes.
Yeah. Okay, top 10 on the global charts right now. We've got Espresso by Sabrina Carpenter at number 10. Sailor Song by Gigi Perez.
Okay.
Okay. Check them out.
Yep, I have not yet.
Checked Anxiety by Doce. DTMF by Bad Bunny. You know Bad Bunny.
Bad Bunny's awesome.
Yep.
Very different. Well, it's very Latin infused.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what he's saying.
No.
It's
the vibe in the.
It's the vibe.
It's a total vibe thing.
Yeah, he's always intense. We've got Luther by Kendrick Lamar and SZA again. Number 6, Gracie Abrams. That's So True. Do you know that song?
I do not.
All right. Well, there you go. That's your assignment. We've got Apartment by Rosé and Bruno Mars at number 4. Ordinary by Alex Warren at number 3. Do you know that one?
No.
Okay, well, check that one out. It's a great tune. Birds of a Feather by Billie Eilish at number 2. And the number 1 song in the world is Die With a Smile by Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars.
That one I know.
Yeah. Well, I know that you have some Gaga stuff up in your bedroom. So.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Gaga's good.
Mm-hmm.
I dig the Gaga.
So, is there anyone in pop music that you've been checking out recently?
No, not so much.
Yeah, you can be honest, man.
Yeah.
Okay, over on the country top 10, Jelly Roll Liar at 10.
That's still a good song.
Morgan Wallen, Just in Case. Riley Green, Worst Way. What is this? Well, that's just different there. I think this is a misprint. Dangerous by Morgan Wallen. This is really funny. And this is from AI, okay? It says, Terry Gibbs, Somebody's Knocking. Do you know that song?
No.
Okay, that's an old song from the 80s, man. I don't know why it's on this chart.
I was going to say, he's one of the Gibbs brothers, right?
No.
No?
No, and it's her. It's okay, Andy. It's country. Good News by Shabuzi, which is there. I Never Lie by Zach Top. Morgan Wallen again, I'm the Problem. Tipsy by Shabuzi, and Morgan Wallen is number 1 with Love Somebody. I just don't know why that.
He's got 3 tracks in the top 10.
Well, he's very popular, Andy.
Apparently,
have you not?
No, I've figured that out. I just haven't figured out why. Sorry.
Well, I think you better just give him a chance.
I
think I've mentioned before that I think that he's a good entertainer and he's a good singer, but as a person, he kind of turns me off, as far as his music goes. It's like, throwing chairs out of hotel rooms, and he walked
off of Saturday Night
Live, and I realize those are small things.
Yeah,
I just think it's behavior unbecoming of a country music performer. I don't know, whatever that.
True.
means.
They've always kind of been the what's the word? The good. they're supposed to be the good people that don't...
The good people. The
church-going type. You know what I'm saying? You know?
Yeah. The country music listenership is the house with the white picket fence.
Yes.
The two kids,
Yes.
the dog and the
Yes.
cat,
Yes.
and one car.
Yes.
And Dad goes to work.
Yep.
And that's kind
of the vibe, right?
Is it a stereotype though?
Oh, for sure it is.
Okay.
It might be a vibe too, though.
It
could be both.
It could be. We're metalheads.
Very much so.
Yeah.
Very much so.
But
I can also get down
worship
with some
Satan,
other stuff
apparently.
too. Oh, obviously.
Yeah.
I mean, just look around.
Yeah. All kinds of it here in the monkey cage.
That's right.
Okay, hip hop and R&B top 10. Bix the Plug, the largest.
Nope,
Familiar?
don't know that one.
Okay, Denial is a River, Doce.
Nope.
Okay, check that one out. Please
Okay.
do. Lose Yourself by Eminem.
I do know that song.
Okay, I don't
think that's in the top 10.
I'm looking at the top 10 on Apple Music.
Oh,
first,
okay. This is Apple Music. Okay.
Well, I
that
did
makes sense then.
Billboard, and
Yeah.
so I checked out a top 10 for streaming. Rashida, My Bubblegum.
Nope, don't know that one.
Well, I think that one's probably going to be really cool to check out. Kendrick Lamar, Squabble Up at number 6. Kendrick Lamar, TV Off featuring Lefty Gunplay at number 5. Kendrick Lamar, Not Like Us at number 4.
Jeez.
Kendrick Lamar and Scissor Luther at number 3.
Well, it's the Kendrick Lamar top 10.
Bix the Plug and Country's Bailey Zimmerman at number 2. And the number 1 rap and hip-hop song is Anxiety by Doce.
Okay.
All right.
I will check that one out.
Yeah. So Coachella happened.
Yeah, it's still going on as of
today, as we
this.
record this, is day number 3.
Yeah.
Today,
Do you know who's on today?
Well, let me look that up. I do know one that I'm looking forward to, as I've mentioned before. I'm a huge fan of the K-pop group.
Oh yeah, I know you like the K-pop.
Blackpink.
Okay, yeah,
Okay.
You've played them for me before. Yeah.
And all the girls of Blackpink.
So they're performing there today?
No.
Oh.
No. One of the members, Lisa, performed on Friday night.
Okay.
And Jenny will perform tonight. They all have their solo albums out now.
Oh, I got you.
And so they are the two most successful right now of the girls.
Okay.
So I'm looking up day 3 of Coachella. I thought I had it memorized. Seriously, I mean, it was all I read on my way here. Was who's on day 3? Remember who's on day 3? Because Andy's going to ask you.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. So it looks like today we have got Megan Thee Stallion.
Okay.
Zed, Jenny, Kraftwerk, Biba Doobie.
Nice.
Yeah, you like Biba Doobie. We've got Still Woozy. You know Still Woozy?
No, except I do know the feeling of Still Woozy.
Okay, Jessie Murph. Are you familiar with her?
Did you say Smurf?
Jessie Murph.
Murph.
No. Okay.
I know
You
the
should
Smurfs,
check
but I
out
know-
Jessie.
I don't know
Very cool and unique voice.
Okay.
Shabuzi is there today. Ty Dolla $ign, The Circle Jerks,
The Circle Jerks. Now that's an old school
Amel
band.
and the Sniffers. Familiar?
No, but I
Okay.
love the
Another one
name.
to check out.
What was it?
Amel.
Amel.
And the
I thought you
Sniffers?
said something completely different.
No, that's a cool one to check out. Bix the Plug is there. He's a hot thing according to the charts.
Okay.
The Snow Strippers.
The Snow Strippers.
I'm not familiar with
Not
them, but
familiar,
it
no.
says strippers in the name, so I'll check
I'm
it out.
in.
Never know what's going to happen. The Beaches are there. Do you know
yeah,
who the
I do
Beaches
know.
are?
I do know who the
Okay.
Beaches are.
I went with my 3 favorite ladies to see Fletcher last year up
Yep.
in Minneapolis, and we were on an off night. We didn't get to see the bleachers that
No.
night. They were on the day before and the day after, but I checked them out anyway, and I love the Beaches. Love the Beaches. You can just put your earbud in and just listen all day, no problem whatsoever. I think that Post Malone is the headliner tonight.
Post Malone.
Post Malone.
I saw him like 4 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Put on an amazing show.
Yep.
Really, really impressed me.
So I checked out Lady Gaga. She was a headliner on
Yep, we
Friday.
watched a little bit of that.
I didn't stay up for the whole thing, but it was intense.
Yeah.
The production was intense. Missy Elliott was there, tore it up. Legend.
Yeah.
Benson Boone, who you're not familiar with.
Right.
He was there. Benson Boone is not my thing. I know people are going, oh, what? No, Benson Boone is not my thing.
I don't know who it is, so I can't say one way or the other.
He's a great performer, entertainer, singer. He's just not my thing. Lisa, like I said, from Blackpink was there. Prodigy was there the other
Prodigy.
night. Check them out. They tore it up. Tyla was there. Do you know Tyla?
Name sounds familiar.
Okay, the song is Water. Glorilla was there. The Go-Go's were there.
Yes, I did. I did watch the Go-Go's, of course, because I'm an '80s freak. Great, they sounded awesome.
They sounded raw.
Yeah.
Which I think is great.
Yeah.
Because they came from a time when music was
raw.
Was raw. It wasn't overly produced.
Yeah.
The technology that's around today.
It was right before it got really produced, though, too. Like, it was like a couple of years, and then it started
very
to get
little of
overproduced.
today's technology was available in that day, and I liked how they had that raw sound, and you could maybe hear the wrong guitar note being played a couple times and stuff like that. It was great. Lola Young was there Friday night. She's amazing. I just actually turned you on to Lola Young.
Yep.
Before we started this.
Yep.
Just so you know. Pretty intense.
She was all right.
Yeah. Kneecap. Are you familiar with Kneecap?
Don't know Kneecap.
Okay, check them out. Charlie XCX last night.
I do know that one.
Mm-hmm. Intense. The original Misfits.
Yes, with Glenn Danzig.
The original Misfits.
Yes. That would be awesome. I'd love to see the original Misfits.
This might be the only show that they're doing this year.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to
Japanese
go back and
breakfast.
watch that.
Do you know Japanese breakfast?
No, but I like the name.
Okay, check them out. T-Pain tore it up.
Yep.
T-Pain tore it up. Live band was amazing.
Well, he's got some hits. I mean, everybody can dance.
Really good too.
Everybody looked like they were dancing out in the crowd. Like it looked like a fun time.
Jimmy Eat World was good.
I love Jimmy Eat World.
Yeah, they've been around a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, what's that, the 90s?
Yeah, late 90s.
You know who you missed?
Nope.
And you will have to check it out. I checked it out for about a minute because it's just not my thing. But Yo Gabba Gabba was there.
Yo Gabba Gabba.
No?
I can't think of who they are.
They dress up.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Andy.
I'll have to look it up. I don't remember.
Check it out. Yeah,
Yo
check
Gabba
it
Gabba.
out. Anyway, it's funny. Believe me, it's funny.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So, anyway, yeah. It's been a good weekend at Coachella, as we were discussing before we started this. It's I'm always impressed with the people that curate that.
Mm-hmm. They seem to be right on the cusp of what's hot, what's coming, what people are starting to get into.
Yeah, I think that they have a lot of feelers out around the world and around the country of, you know, what's buzzing in New York City, what's buzzing in L.A., what do we have down south that, you know, someone that might take off, and they put them all together. It's often a lot of mixed genres.
They have everything there.
Yeah, they have everything there, and it's really neat to turn it on and discover new people. Like Marina was there. Marina's been around for a while, very popular. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm a Marina fan. There was several other artists that I wasn't aware of that I made a playlist of them to check out next week. So, yeah,
nice.
it's day number 3, and they do it all over again next Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It's I believe
it's 2 weekends. Huh? I guess I didn't know that.
I believe it is. It should be. They want it to be the same lineup every weekend.
Oh, okay.
But every now and then there are some exceptions or whatever. But yeah, it's essentially the same thing. I could swear last year when No Doubt did it, that they wore the same thing both weekends.
Huh.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a great opportunity. I would like to go just for the sake of saying I
was
went,
there.
But we've talked before about festivals. My interest in them is fairly low because I want to be able to go pee when I want to pee, and I want to be able to get something to eat, and I don't want to be 10,000 feet back watching it on a screen. So I'd rather just save my money. But
yeah,
okay,
festivals are good. I mean, for if you want to get a taste of a lot of different bands, and say that you saw all these bands live, they're great. You get a chance to see so many different bands. That is the awesome part. The downside is a lot of people, a lot of lines. You're just gonna have to wait for everything you want.
Right.
And it's gonna take a while, and and then of course the weather can kind of sometimes put a poo-poo on things. I remember being at Rock on the Range, and a storm came through the second night, and it had to pause all the bands for like 2 hours while the storm went through, and then they picked it back up. But yeah, they can be great for if you're wanting to see a whole bunch of different bands and get a taste of every one of them. But yeah, you're only going to get like 30 or 40 minutes from each band. So, I would much rather see them in a headliner position where you get the full 2 hours.
Yeah. I think that if you're young,
yes,
it's a great thing to say to your 7 friends, hey, let's take a trip to Coachella.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah.
You got enough people there, you're splitting the costs of everything. And you're going. You always have someone with you.
Yeah.
It's great for that.
It's great for young people. Yeah.
Or your vacation or something. It's just like Burning Man. It's not something you want to go to all the time, but
just once experience.
Maybe a bucket list thing.
Right.
So what are we talking about again today?
Today we are talking about lost albums of the 90s.
Lost albums of the 90s. Okay.
Albums and songs that should have been huge. And if you listen to them, you'll go, why didn't these chart? Why didn't they make
Well, you sent
the
me a
hits?
few of them, and I have a very good explanation for that. But before I get to it, let's talk just briefly about what ended this form of music. What we all know, everyone knows, that alternative rock came on.
Yeah. Because, a lot of mine are the 80s hair bands. Not all of them, though.
Yeah.
There's some of them that are...
I mean, they're not only was it hair metal.
Yes.
Glam metal.
Yes.
But, there was some other stuff that kind of faded off. Some certain forms of pop.
Yep.
That kind of faded off. It's not really all, though, the rise of Nirvana and Soundgarden and Pearl Jam and all that. Now, you and I, we don't have to do research on any of this.
No, we could,
we lived through it,
right?
Through the good, the bad, and the ugly. And you had your bands in the late '70s, your Aerosmiths, AC/DC, and all that.
Yep.
And they gave rise to the '80s. You had Metallica, you had Megadeth, but there was something that, while that kind of metal was happening in the '80s, there was your Motley Crues that really spearheaded this glam metal thing.
Mm-hmm.
You had Van Halen. I mean, the list goes. Rat.
Yes.
And Def Leppard. Doc.
Warrant.
Well, yeah, but Warrant is much later.
Yeah, they were later. They were in the late '80s.
Yeah, and so out of the Motley Crues, then you get your Poison, L.A. Guns, Faster Pussycat,
correct.
Can you think of some other ones?
Oh God, Wasp was a great one from the '80s.
Yeah, but I
Firehouse came in the late '80s, early '90s,
and that's really where the problem arises. that's where it begins. Is
Yeah.
that for you and I mean, we know that if you take Poison. Now, I remember seeing that album cover.
Which one?
Well, the first one, the very first album cover.
The first one with the 4 pictures of them?
Yeah, where they're in drag makeup.
Yep.
And I thought, and I'd heard the, I can't remember what the first single was.
Isn't it I Want Action?
Yes, I Want Action was the first single. And I thought, oh, well, these guys are cool and fun, but there's no way they're going to last. Well, it's 2025, and I think that they're at some point deserving of going into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Absolutely.
I mean they made a couple of anthems. But what was born out of Poison was copycat bands.
A lot of them, yeah.
The main one being Warrant.
See, I'll argue Warrant was its own thing. I mean, they sounded a little bit like them, but they had, especially, I think the record label pigeonholed them for the first, especially, well, the first 2 albums, especially, because Cherry Pie, they wanted Cherry Pie. They wanted that kind of a hit. But they really wanted to...
That was the Talk Dirty to Me.
Yeah, but they didn't want to write that song.
Well, no.
They wanted to write Uncle Tom's Cabin, which was a great tune. And it didn't sound like anything like that.
It didn't. No, that was a good song.
And then if you look at like their later albums, like Dog Eat Dog, which is one of the albums that I'm bringing up here, is a phenomenal album. I can listen to that front to back.
Billboard
and love every
disagrees
song.
with you on.
Yeah,
Billboard
they're
disagrees with you on that. In fact, calling it one of the worst albums.
I would say it's great
because so. You have all these bands, and you can honestly say that, yes, there was a lot of copy bands. There was a lot of cookie-cutter stuff. It became a formula. I mean, it was the same formula for every band. We're going to tease your hair up. We're going to put makeup on you. You're going to wear the tight leather pants.
Yep.
And we're going to parade you out there, and you're going to put out a rock song, and then you're going to put out a ballad, then you're going to put out a rock song, and then you're going to put out a ballad. We're going to record a new album with you, and we're going to do the same thing. And there were so many ballads out there. Now, I don't have a problem. There are some very good ballads. Heaven.
Love that song.
Heaven by Warrant is a good song. Every Rose Has Its Thorn. Cinderella had some great ballads. I mean, the list goes on and on of bands that had great ballads, but it was just so overdone. People got worn out on it.
Yeah,
tired. It was redundant. You know, we're talking bands like, and I'm sorry if I'm shitting on any of your favorite bands, but like Trickster. Oh, please.
I like Trickster.
Please. Firehouse, great band, but please.
I think Trickster's great.
Slaughter, great
Slaughter's
band.
awesome.
Great band, but okay. The Slaughter is okay. Enough's Enough.
That one I'll give you.
Okay.
I mean, they're okay, but they're
Enough's Enough.
They're different because they're kind of like I don't know. They bring a Beatles type sound to theirs.
But you know, I mean, there were so many bands, Black and Blue, and you know, Brittany Fox.
Love Brittany Fox.
Now, Brittany Fox, you know, it's cool to turn that on. But we all know that John Bon Jovi helped the career of Cinderella.
Yep.
Cinderella turned around. Tom Kiefer helped Dizzy Dean Davidson and Brittany Fox get a record deal. But I think that Brittany Fox sounded a lot like Cinderella.
Very much so. Oh yeah, they did sound very much like Cinderella. Yeah. But they had some jams, man. They had Poison Heat is an underrated album. I love Poison Heat. That's their second album. Their first album's very good too. Even their third album without Dizzy Dean is a pretty damn good album.
No, if Dizzy Dean isn't on it, it's not Brittany Fox.
It doesn't sound like Brittany Fox, that's for sure. It sounds very different than...
Now, a band that, you know, kind of starting into your list here, I'm a big White Lion fan.
Yes.
But they were another band that's like, oh, please.
Really?
Yeah, they were.
I mean, they were kind of a ripoff of Van Halen, but...
Well, I like a lot of their songs. Vito Bratta.
Oh, it's amazing.
That's a name we
guitarist.
didn't bring up in the guitarist episode.
Should have been brought up.
I think Vito, he plays guitar at his house now, and that's
I don't even know if he does that anymore.
It's been like that when they disbanded.
He just
in the
fell
early
off
90s,
the earth.
he fell off the earth. But that last album they did, Main Attraction,
fantastic.
I think that was a great album.
Absolutely.
But grunge came up, and music as a whole changed. I think in all genres.
It got darker
with grunge coming on. You had that.
There wasn't the party atmosphere anymore.
It
was
wasn't,
all serious.
and the early '90s were very alternative,
Yeah.
and it was a complete departure.
Yeah.
From that '80s rock. Now it wasn't anything like late '70s where you got together at a baseball stadium and burned all the disco.
Right. Thank God.
Yeah.
Except we did burn some Milli Vanilli CDs when we found out that they were.
Well, yeah, but
that got some real, yeah.
Well, I hate to say
disco
it, but
vibes.
Girl, that's true.
Yep. So you going back to White Lion?
Yes.
You knew that album, but did you know of Freak of Nature?
Freak of Nature by White Lion?
No. The band Freak of Nature.
Freak of Nature. Yeah, I kind of remember them.
They were Mike Tramp's follow-up to White Lion.
Oh, yeah, I didn't like them.
They were okay. They were definitely not White Lion. And when you listen to it, they sounded nothing like White Lion. But they still had a pretty good couple of songs that I thought were pretty decent. I thought they were all right. I liked Mike Tramp. His vocals were pretty cool.
Oh, he's a unique singer.
So one of the albums that I really want to bring up, this was a band that I was supposed to see open up for Poison and the Damn Yankees in La Crosse, Wisconsin, in 1990-something. And I remember seeing the ad in the paper, to go buy tickets. Yeah, that's how we found out about the concerts, kids. We read the newspaper, which was a printed edition. We'd barely ever acknowledge those things anymore.
Right.
But anyway, I saw that, and I was like, Life, Sex, and Death, who are they? So I went out and bought the album. And easily became mine and all of my friends' favorite album of that year. Easily. It blended the grunge thing that was happening with the hair metal that we liked effortlessly. And it was just a different sound. They have so many great songs on that album. Train is one of those songs that starts out like it sounds like a train leaving the station, one of those old steam engines. Mm-hmm. And it's just done by guitar work, and it just builds and builds and builds, and then it just hits you.
Well, Life, Sex, and Death is a good first example of you had these bands that, there was the copying, the mold, and then you had some of our favorite bands, the popular bands at that time, losing members, which didn't help. Yep. There was Motley Crue kicked out Vince Gill.
Vince Neil.
Or Vince Gill.
Vince Gill.
That is another episode. Country. We're going to do one show apparently now on Vince Gill.
Okay.
Sorry. Let's see. I think Janie Lane had been kicked out of Warrant.
That was later.
Well, it was later, but there was other bands. They were losing guitar players. Mm-hmm. C.C. DeVille had
DeVille had left. And actually, that album is on my list as
I'm
well.
sure it is, which Billboard also says is one of the worst albums
And
of
they are
that
wrong.
period.
Billboard is always wrong. Billboard has never put out a good
Billboard is the
thing
official
ever. Their top
source.
10 lists are the worst in the history of top 10 lists ever.
I'm sticking with Billboard to combat your list.
I would say that Native
Flesh and Blood.
Tongue. Native Tongue.
Oh.
Ranks right up there with anything they did. The sound is so different on that album, but
Richie
it was
Kotzen
great.
and Blue Saraceno
Yeah, they
were the
gave
two
it.
guitar players during that time, and I'm sorry, but
I loved both of them. I thought they brought.
I just couldn't. I just couldn't. I was done at that point. I'm like, no.
You missed out on some great albums. There's
Yeah.
great songs too.
It sounded.
Highly suggest.
It didn't have that.
It wasn't
same
Poison.
vibe.
It wasn't the same Poison. I thought
No.
it gave it a much more bluesier, much more
but
grown up.
that's
much
what all
more
of these bands
awesome
were doing to
vibe.
combat this alternative thing.
Yeah, they kind of went more in the blues
They were
direction.
changing their sounds.
Yep.
They were trying to be alternative or whatever.
Yeah.
Like
Well, Motley Crue. Let's go there with their Motley Crue's '94 album.
with John Corabi, which was a total hunka.
I will argue that Day and Night was their best
I know
album.
a lot of people will
easily
argue
their
that,
best
but
album.
that's-
No doubt, hands down.
I mean, that-
killer.
but-
his vocals were way better than anything Vince Neil
That
ever
whole album
did.
sounded like Motley Crue's cover of "Fight for Your Right to Party."
No, absolutely not. Smoke the Sky is a killer track. I could go on. Bad Apple was another great tune. I wish I could just think off the top of my head what other ones off of there. Hooligan's Holiday, loved that one.
Oh my!
Yeah, the whole album. I really loved that whole album.
Well, that's the neat thing about this podcast. We're just going to talk about things that interest us.
Yeah, and
That is honestly not, and I'm not picking on you.
no, I know
And
that's just not your
I'll
thing.
still be your friend. Don't worry about it. That is one of my least favorite songs of all time. Hooligan's Holiday.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, I wouldn't say it's one of my favorites.
Now I love
but
John
dig it.
Corabi. There is a band that very few people know of that we love.
Union?
He was in Union.
Yes,
And
that was another album
that-
I wanted to bring up
Yeah,
because that was late '90s, wasn't it?
It was, but it just. Yeah, it was too late. A couple of years earlier,
Yep.
Union might have been something, but yeah,
Bruce
Union,
Kulick was the
Do Your
guitarist
Own
in that.
Thing. Oh,
That
that's
is
a great
jam.
song.
Absolute jam.
Let's see what else.
Did
Blue
you ever-
Murder? Did
Blue
Blue
Murder?
Murder come out?
Yeah, they came out in the early '90s. Yep,
Yeah.
they were good. I liked them. But yeah, they were very much a copycat type band.
Well, they had the Blue Murder album,
yeah,
which got some a lot of notice. But the other thing that happened to a lot of these bands is then they took too long.
yeah,
They took too long
to get
come
their
out with
second
something
album.
new.
Yep.
You know, there was at that time, Rat was another one that
Mm-hmm.
kind of bit by that bug of being gone too long,
Yep.
and it didn't take the alternative rock of the early '90s really very long to saturate the market.
No.
And so they had waited too long. Tesla was a band that had Cinderella had taken way too long.
Yeah,
there's a
but
number-
Still Climbing is one of my favorite albums from them.
Yeah.
I love Still Climbing.
Yeah.
It was one that just didn't get airplay because, at the time,
Still
Soundgarden
Climbing.
and-
No, I did like that record.
Yeah, that was a good album.
There was some Dokken records.
Yes, I have. Let's see here on my Dokken. I have
Erase the Slate.
Erase the Slate was a great album from them. I know I have Dysfunctional and Erase the Slate. Both
Well,
great
and
albums.
Erase the Slate was not George Lynch. It was Reb Beach.
That's right.
Reb
yeah.
Beach from Winger was the guitar player on that album.
Yep.
I really did like that one. But again, wrong time.
Saigon Kick.
Saigon Kick now. That's a song that
Love is on the Way.
Love is
that
on the
one
way
you're
that
talking
I
about? That
think
was
both of
huge.
us would have played on the radio
Oh,
as,
yeah.
as announcers.
But their second album, Water, is a phenomenal album. They do a cover of David Bowie's Space Oddity, which is, I think, better than the original.
I honestly don't. I don't think I ever listened to anything beyond that. Going back to
you'll need to do that.
Blue Murder. They came out with an album after that. And they covered Itchy Coo Park, which I think is a really good cover.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll check that one out. It's been a while since I've heard that. How about Arcade? Do you remember Arcade?
Arcade was the members of, Rat and Duran Duran?
Cinderella, I think, was part of it. At least Jeff LaBar was.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
But yeah, their first album was solid. Really good stuff.
The first record was,
but it was
okay. But
it was released at the wrong time.
Oh,
that was
completely.
Just,
completely, yeah.
They just didn't have any spin on there whatsoever. But if you listen to it now, you go back and it's a damn good album. I really enjoy that one. Scorpions. Do you remember Pure Instinct? That album? And nobody does. Not even Google. It took me a while to find the name of it because I remembered the Wild Child song that came off of it, but I could not find any information on that album.
I remember that song. I kind of gave up on the Scorpions after Savage Amusement, Rhythm of Love. Yeah,
yep.
I kind of Herman Rarebell, the drummer, had left the band, and
you're really into drummers.
And I was really into drummers.
Yeah.
And I was mad, and I was like, kiss my ass.
Have you ever heard of Widowmaker?
Widowmaker, yeah. When you brought that, when you sent me that, I was like, it sounds familiar. But yeah, that was Dee Snider.
Mm-hmm.
Again, Twisted Sister was going through some things. They had a different drummer, Bobby Rondinelli at the time instead of AJ Pero.
Yep.
They came out with by the way, I love it, the Twisted Sister album, Love Is for Suckers.
Oh, that's a great album. I love that album. Yes.
But that came out at the wrong time, too.
Agreed.
And a lot has been said about the album. It just seemed really, really planned and not... no effort was really put into it.
Yeah.
Just a bunch of... But
that Widowmaker album, that I highly suggest checking out.
Yeah, he kind of showed his heavier side with that.
It's much heavier than a Twisted Sister album. It's a different direction, and it's great. Mm-hmm. I love it. How about... let's see here. Roxy Blue. Have you heard of this? Was the one I literally just found out about this week. And I am digging me some Roxy Blue.
And I'll tell you what, man, there's all kinds of people from the 80s just dying to hear about them.
I know, right?
I'm teasing.
They have a very Van Halen-ish vibe.
I did listen.
Like a 1984 Van Halen, David Lee Roth years vibe. I dug it. If you haven't checked it out, check out Roxy Blue. Fight. That
was that Rob Halford?
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a good
That
album.
was during his time. There was another band.
Yeah, that and 2 was the other one, which was the number 2 WO.
I don't remember them.
That was more of his kind of like a Nine Inch Nails industrial.
Yeah,
album.
that was at the time when he had left Judas Priest.
Yep.
And of course he came back, and they're still around kicking ass today.
Oh yeah, absolutely, they are still kicking ass. Let's see, Danger.
Oh well, we love Danger.
Their first album was good, but their second and third album, well, what would have been their third album, Cockroach.
Cockroach was good.
Fantastic album. Like, Screw It, I think, could hands down be the best hair metal band or album of all time.
Well, I have, a long list of favorite singers. You know who my favorite singer is. Don't.
Steve Perry?
Yeah, Steve Perry of Journey. But there were some great 80s singers.
Ted Poley was good.
Ted Poley is one of them. Daniel McMaster.
From Dangerous Toys.
From Dangerous Toys. Tom Kiefer from Cinderella.
That Dangerous Toys album was on that came at the wrong time.
Tom Kiefer from Cinderella.
Oh,
amazing singer. But yeah, there was a lot of singers, and that's really what drew me to Danger.
They had just the greatest hooks and the greatest choruses in their album.
They did. They had great guitar playing.
Oh, for sure. Andy Timmons,
and
amazing guitarist. He's another one that didn't make the list last week.
He didn't, but Andy Timmons is a guy that, well, he left Danger to essentially sit in studios. He's played on a lot of records, all different kinds of music and stuff. He's gotten back with Danger. They've done a lot of shows together.
Yep.
In the past, reunion shows and whatever. But yeah, I thought that they were glammy.
They were,
but I think that they were good musicians,
very much so,
and that they wrote very catchy,
very catchy, like
very catchy songs.
Screw It and Cockroach, both of those albums. And the sad thing about Cockroach is that should have been released like 92, 93, somewhere around there, but didn't come out until like 2000 something, because it was put on the shelf because that was when Ted Poley had left. Like and they had some other guy. I can't remember what his name is. But he came in, and their album with him isn't bad, but it's not Danger. It's different.
I stopped after Ted left.
Yeah,
I just couldn't do it.
It's different. And then that's
Bruno,
for sure.
And then Bruno, their bass player, I think currently fronts them, but. Yeah, they were a great band.
Loved me some Danger. Have you ever heard of Circus of Power?
Circus of Power, I have heard. I'm just not. You'd have to remind me.
They have kind of the best way I could, like a swampy blues metal. If that is a genre, that's how I would, kind of southernish, but yet. I don't know. It sounds like they were on the bayou a little bit.
Okay.
I don't know if that makes any sense.
I'm going to have to listen.
Yeah, I highly... let's see. Mama Tequila is a great song from them. That one I'd highly suggest. We're getting close to the end, but there's some albums that some of our listeners had mentioned that I should bring up. Including Skid Row's Subhuman Race, which was not well received.
It was not very good, and that's just my opinion.
There were some people that did not like that album. Some people loved that album. It's kind of, you either loved it or you hated it. Tesla's Bust a Nut, I think, is a killer album. I love that album.
Bust a Nut is good, Tesla's one of those bands that we're going to talk about real soon that got put in the wrong category.
Oh, for sure. They definitely did not. They weren't hair metal. No, they were a straight up rock band. Saints and Sinners. Have you heard of them?
That was a Whitesnake album.
No, well, it was. But,
okay.
Saints and Sinners, the band.
No.
They were really, really good. Highly suggest. They only had one album, so if you find it on Spotify, check it out. Taking My Chances on Love was a ballad, but a really good ballad. I really liked that tune. They had another couple tunes that were a little bit more rocky, but that one was the song that drew me to them. Some other bands, Wild Side was suggested. I need to check out them. I haven't checked them out yet. Let's see what's Tough is another band that just came out at the wrong time. That I Hate Kissing You Goodbye, I remember hearing that was going up the charts on MTV's top 10, that they did every week, and apparently it was on its way to number one, and then Nirvana came and it was completely gone the next week.
I saw Tough at a bar in Billings, Montana. It would have been right around that time, and I went to the show, and I didn't really like it, but the sound was horrible.
Oh no! Yeah, that'll always
horrible.
ruin it though too.
Yeah,
like if the sound isn't good, you're not going to enjoy the performance no matter.
Yeah,
what
it was it was a relatively small place, and they had a couple local bands open for them. But yeah, they were literally, I think, on their first or second single. Very raw at the time.
There's a band, Hardline.
Oh, well, of course.
Hardline.
I'm a big Hardline fan.
But they should have been huge. They really should have
been. Should have been big. Hardline was formed out of, first of all, Neil Schon.
Of Journey, yep.
And Jonathan Cain. Journey just went away in 85. They did. They literally just went 85, 86.
86, because it was right after Raised on Radio.
Yeah, and so the first band to be formed after Journey for Neil Schon, he took Jonathan Cain with him, and they formed Bad English.
Yep.
Had a hit with When I See You Smile. Their drummer in Bad English was a guy by the name of Dean Castronovo. And they had Ricky Phillips.
Yep.
From the Babies. And that band did one album which did really well.
Really well.
And then they just kind of fell apart. They came out with another album after that.
It just didn't
go very well.
No.
And so then Dean and Neil went on to be a part of Hardline. Todd Jensen was the bass player in Hardline. He's now the bass player in Journey.
Yep.
Okay. The Gioli brothers, I believe that's how you pronounce the last name.
I don't know how to pronounce it, but yeah, I'll give you that.
Again, that was a band. They did the one album, and then pretty much the whole band had changed by the second album. They went away, but that was in the early 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that Hardline album, the first Hardline album.
Oh, it's great. Hot Cherie.
Why did it not? Why did radio not pick it up? I just don't get it.
Well, I don't know. I don't know that Hardline was not a hair metal band.
No, they weren't.
Neil Schon was doing his shredding solos on it. There was great singing. I didn't find anything hair metal about them.
No, it was a rock album.
Yeah, it was a
straight up rock album. Someone suggested Masters of Reality, Sunrise of the Sufferbus.
Not familiar.
I am not familiar with that, but that's one I'm going to have to check out. Electric Angels and Fifth Angel were other suggestions. Bangalore Choir. Do you remember them?
A little bit.
Yeah, I remember them. On Target was the album. They only had one that I know of. And I think that Kick Tracy.
Kick Tracy I'm familiar with. What about
Every Mother's Nightmare?
I don't know when they came out. The Electric Boys.
Yes, the Electric Boys.
Was that early
Lips
90s?
and Hips.
Lips
yeah,
and
that
Hips
was that was late night. Well, no, early 90s, late 80s.
Late 80s, early 90s. That
they're
was a
still
band,
together. Electric
well, I'm sure
Boys.
they are,
just
but that was a band
album.
that I thought would be bigger than they were.
Yeah.
But Lips and Hips, man, you crank that up, it's still a great song.
Still a jam.
It's
absolutely. And I highly suggest checking out their newer stuff, too. It's good.
Well, I mean, you can look up any of these.
Yeah.
Any of these groups. And I'm sure, Andy, if you have time, you can add a couple of links to the podcast.
I guess I got to remember how to do that, but yeah, I'll do that.
I mean, take your time, but yeah, maybe we'll start doing that in the future because just so people understand, we cannot play any music on this podcast.
Right.
Because all music is copyrighted. It's controlled by ASCAP and BMI rights.
Yep.
And let's just say you want to play 10 seconds of a song in a Super Bowl commercial.
Yep.
It can cost you millions.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll go ahead and put the links on there.
Yeah.
Andy can't even afford good furniture for this podcast, let alone playing songs. So
yeah.
We'll figure out a way in the weeks ahead as we talk about things that we would really like you to check out. And we'll post a few links.
Now, all these albums that we talked about today, I hope you do some dig. Oh, Cry of Love. That was the last band I was supposed to mention.
Oh, okay.
Cry of Love. I remember meeting, I think it was the drummer for Chris Duarte when he was in town. But Cry of Love, that whole, it's bathroom time. That's what that is.
Cry of Love, I remember them. Yeah, I remember them.
They're very good.
Sally, the podcast dog, needs to go outside.
Yep, it's time, and it's about time to wrap up.
So join us for the next episode. We're going to talk about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yes.
Just a few things that go with that.
Oh. But I've got some thoughts.
And just how to change it. And so, in the meantime, check out Andy on the radio.
Yeah, you can listen to me on Real Rock Nights. I do a segment called Chartbound with MonkeyBoy. That's on Saturday nights at 8 o'clock and Sunday nights at 10 o'clock on MonkeyBoy Radio. Also do a show called Dad Rock Sunday mornings at 10 a.m., which features new rock from classic artists. And then The Underground at 7 o'clock on Sundays, which features local, regional, and national up-and-coming rockers.
All right. And we encourage people to share their comments about our podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening.
Good, bad.
We really appreciate
it. Good, bad, or otherwise.
Yeah.
We're 8 episodes in.
Yep. We know we got some things to work out, but, you know, we're just having fun with it.
We're having fun.
Sally really wants to go.
And Sally loves to be here. And we'll catch you next time on the Music Matters podcast.